moron! Hey, moron! Duh! Look at me! I'm the waterboard, dude!
Well, happy game day, friends. Mark Holmes here for my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. So let's get open for business here and let's wake up the football gods. You know what? When things go wrong, you got to try something different. You have to try something different than what you are doing. And, you know, drastic times call for drastic measures. You know, people are laughing at us. I get it. You know, I'd laugh at us too if it wasn't that I'm a Cowboy fan. We have been dealt the hand of being handicapped by Jerry Jones. We end up having a rough schedule, and we end up having a lot of injuries, and we have Mike McCarthy. And the Cowboys, doing things that they've been able to get away with, finally have caught up with them. Today, we are truly shorthanded. We don't have D-Law. Who knows? I ain't even heard anything about D-Law. That's how bad that is. Micah Parsons is getting a little closer. Now we've got Diggs with the tore on his calf. Deron Bland, will we ever see him this year? Our defensive line is in shambles. All of our edge rushers are gone. Sam Williams has been lost for the season. Marshawn Nealon has been hurt. We are literally, here's part of the reason why I'm going to Dallas next week. As much as we've been losing people, now we've got Zeke Elliott, of course, who is being sat down for disciplinary reasons that I'm sure we'll get back in that in a minute. But one of the reasons why I'm going to the Dallas game versus the Eagles, shit, right now, they might be pulling people out the stands to play on the team. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we're 32nd in run stopping, can I honestly make it any worse? Maybe this is my chance to get signed to a one-day contract. I'll play for, listen, Jerry, $1. I know you like a bargain, Jerry. Steven, hey, you know what? You can't say that I'm too expensive. You can't say that I'm too expensive. Because right now, you know, I can just lay in the hole. They at least have to jump over I'll be a speed bump. I'll be a speed bump. At least they're going to have to either run over my old dead body. That might slow them down. Or they might trip over me. It can't be worse than what we've gotten going on right now. We are literally in hell. Everything. You know, I get so much shit. And everybody here is constantly, you just won't say nothing bad about Dak. You know, I would just like to look and see an opportunity. Like when I was listening to the Eagles, they're like, oh, we had some games where A.J. Brown wasn't there. And I'm sitting here saying that even without A.J. Brown, what you have had on the field is better than what we have had when completely healthy. For Jalen Hurts, even without A.J. Brown. You still have a really good offensive line. You got the second best running back in football. That right there is better than what the Cowboys have, even if we were fully healthy on the offense. That is a fact. There is nothing that you can hang your hat on. Even sadly, what used to be something that we used to take for granted was Zach Martin. Zach Martin is beginning to look like Chaz Green. And Lord knows Terrence Steele is one step above Chaz Green. The offensive line is about as porous as I've ever seen. That on every single play, my quarterback is running for his life, trying to find receivers that aren't open, with a running game that doesn't have a single run of 15 yards. But everybody's saying, listen, well, let's draft another quarterback. You may have to. You may have to draft another quarterback because you're going to get this one killed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is the reality of this team. We don't get takeaways. We don't stop the other team from running the football, which eats up the clock. Your receivers don't get open. Your quarterback doesn't ever have a clear field of view. You don't have play action because nobody's scared of our running game. And we have our owner, president, GM, who's in denial about how bad the team is. But it's just the quarterback. It's just the quarterback. If only we had a different quarterback, we would be good. But here's the thing. This game, I'm still not ready. I'm going to go through this game, okay? You can call me a homer. You can call me an idiot. You can call me delusional and all that. I'm still going to go through, and I'm going to enjoy this game, just like I will every single week, because here's the reality is, today is week number 8, game number 8 for the Cowboys. 3 or 4. Yeah, game number 8 for the Cowboys. Shit, is this week 9? Damn, it's even worse than I thought. Yeah, it's week 9. Half of the season is over. I would rather watch a bad Dallas Cowboy team than no Dallas Cowboy team. Each week of football is one less week of football that I'll be able to see on the course of my lifetime. When you get to be 59 years of age, you start thinking about your longevity. And there's not that many opportunities, Jerry. There's not many opportunities. And I wonder if Jerry Jones wants his legacy to be that the Dallas Cowboys became a complete and utter disaster. That having been a Hall of Famer, a 3-time Super Bowl winner, that you go out as a freaking joke. As a guy who the team, that football left behind. Yeah, you'll leave behind a whole big pile of money. You'll leave behind, because you can't take it with you. You can't take it with you. Because, see, here's what I've learned myself, having worked on that red brick house, that when Mary and David Bush owned that big farmland out there and things, yeah, we own it. We're the owners of it. They didn't go. They sold the land to William Brown. William Brown, when he built that brick house because he loved bricks, he was the owner of it. And he's gone. And then the Hippards, the Arnolds, and now me. What I'm trying to leave behind with that red brick house is at its pinnacle. That when people come through and their last thoughts about Mark Holmes is the one who took that house that was going to be destroyed, that was an eyesore, that was the home for the possums and the squirrels and things. Bricks were falling off of it. But you look at that thing right now, look at how beautiful it is. It's got the historic walkway. It's got some landscaping that was done. It's got the half-round black gutters that look like eyelashes, like my wife says. That he left this in great shape for all of us to enjoy. I don't know how much time Jerry Jones has left, but I know at 59, I'm thankful for every day that I got. And when I look at the Cowboys right now, if Jerry Jones were to leave here right now, you look at what you're leaving is a complete disaster. Jerry Jones, for 30 years, after firing Jimmy Johnson, has been an utter, literally failure. That the Cowboys are a train wreck. That they are a pile of shit. That literally Commanders fans that haven't won a Super Bowl since 1991 are now pounding their chest and laughing at you. Is that the legacy that you want to have? That as people go past the Cowboys, they were once, those Dallas Cowboys, like the Red Brick House. Boy, that Red Brick House, it was the school. It was the Mason's Lodge. It was one of the original 70 houses in the early 1800s. It was great. But look at it now. It's a shithole. Sad. At the moment, that's where we are. Look at the Dallas Cowboys with Roger Staubach and Tony Dorsett and Drew Pearson, with that doomsday defense, the Harvey Martins, the Ed Too Tall Jones, the Manster, Randy White, the Hollywood Hendersons, the Tom Landry. These guys up here, they were incredible. But now, yeah, they need to tear that shit down. They need to build something new there because it's all just faded history. This is on you, Jerry. This is on you. Just like Michael Anthony says, that's on you, Dak. That's on you. That's on you, Jerry. That's on you. Tuesday is the trade deadline. And here's the thing. If you win this game, if you find a way, if these young guys say, here's my opportunity to stake my claim and get out from under all the bullshit and all the noise and show the hell up, maybe I can live my dream and take a step forward on my career. And that every single one of those guys need to understand, this is it. This is Custer's last stand. You win an opportunity to fight another day. You lose, it's time to start looking at the draft. And that's the mentality that they need to have. And Jerry Jones, I am so sick and tired of hearing about we believe in our guys. We've been believing in our guys for 30 years. And we ain't won shit. We ain't won shit. I'm tired of Stephen Jones's shit-eating grin and literally telling teams that are winning Super Bowls, that's not the way you build championships. I'm sick and tired of whack-ass contracts for players that are hurt. That we end up having dead money, and then we turn around with the only guy who has actually gone through and actually played his contract and still standing to get another one. When I look at the Terrence Steeles, when I look at the Jalen Smiths, when I look at the Michael Gallups, when I look at the draft picks like Taco Charlton, Boss Man Fad, Schoonmaker, all these guys, when we say we build through the draft and we're a great drafting team, not lately. Not lately, y'all. Not lately. And I don't want to just sit here because it's game day and I want to be happy. I want to enjoy myself because we're early today and I got to go to the store and get some chicken. Thinking about changing up. Thinking about, instead of wings, doing bang bang shrimp. Maybe do bang bang shrimp. Try something different. And maybe do that Southern hot sandwich instead of chicken wings. Try something different. What you got to do. So, here's your chance to change what you're doing. Because if you continue doing the same thing, expecting a different result, Jerry, your legacy is you took the proud franchise and you ran it into the damn ground. You ran it into the ground. And it needs to be bulldozed over and something else taken in its place. No longer is it the America's team. History gives no Fs. It's on you, Jerry, to change that narrative.
And Kmart, sneaky, very interesting game. Cowboys, Falcons, who needs to make a statement?
I think it's clear. Dak Prescott has to go toe-to-toe with Kirk Cousins. And it might sound like an odd statement, but if you look at how Kirk Cousins has played lately, the Falcons are a team that's on the upswing.
Yep.
Whereas we're looking at the Cowboys, Jerry has faith in them. They think they'll figure it out, and yet what they're putting out on the field does not give you that confidence.
It's Dak versus Cousins in the battle of the enormous contracts, right? I mean, we were having that conversation yesterday. Jerry Jones did his usual Tuesday radio interview, and he offered what can only be described as an interesting explanation of the way he goes about paying players.
I've always looked at the dollars we spend in football and on the roster. I've always looked at them as scholarships. And
This is
you
stupid
give
as shit.
one player 5 scholarships. If it were college vernacular, you give another player 1 scholarship. The more guys you can have out there with 1 scholarship, the better off you are because of attrition.
Yeah, we were all a little, we listened to that in the meeting this morning, and none of us are quite sure.
Like, I'm like, something's got to be wrong. Like, I'm not.
Because of attrition at the end is what
Right,
that part is like.
but-
So a lot of guys going to get hurt, so we got to have a lot of cheap guys
Yeah, you want
we can cycle through.
You want to pay less money to players as opposed to more money to players.
Which is
Seems to
literally
be
the opposite of what we see
what
some
they
of
do.
the best teams in the NFL doing.
So let's just move past it. I have a question.
Fine.
Okay, I have a question. Jeff, I'm starting with you.
All right.
The Dallas Cowboys, we talk about them all the time, and sometimes maybe we overstate it. They were good. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. They were a very good football team as recently as last year. They were here.
Yeah.
Now, it would be one thing if they went from here to here, but somehow it feels like they've gone from here to here. How did that happen in one offseason?
2 things. They got worse on the offensive line, and they're not nearly as opportunistic on the defensive side of football. So when you think about how you win games in the NFL, you had an offensive line that could help control. You had explosive plays down the field with Dak and CD. They made plays. And then they did the same on defense. They get into these track meets because they'd be up 14 points in the first half of games, right? And then you're coasting to wins, finding a way to be able to run the football because teams can't play it. They can't do that now. They're not starting fast. And they have the same offense which they had last year. Teams are getting more accustomed to what they do, and they basically just run Dak and CD out there and go, hey, good luck, go win a game. Not going to work in the NFL.
Deron Bland broke the record for pick sixes last year.
But he's been hurt.
I know. No, my point is how they went from there to here is because of major plays. Like that's a little bit of luck. And also, like Micah Parsons was like the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He was getting so many sacks. Like you remember the beginning of last year, they were up by like 21 points at halftime.
Right.
Just about all those games. And now they're in a different situation with no running attack and with a lesser offensive line. It's going to be hard.
That's it. I mean, their offense is not built to carry a team. And their defense isn't great. Their offensive line got worse. Their run game got worse. It makes their West Coast offense, which is already an old version of the West Coast. It's not the Shanahan offense.
Right.
This is like the old school version. It makes it one-dimensional, which makes it predictable, which makes it unimaginative, which makes it stale. And even in that one dimension, you have one option. CeeDee Lamb.
That's right.
We know you're going to him.
Makes it fun
easy
for
to
a
take
defense.
away.
It's real fun for a
People are
defense.
pinning their ears back because there's no way you can go.
I would say it began when they decided to get rid of Zeke, not bring him back. But then 2 years later, we're like, you know what? Let's run him back here. Let's bring him back. Everything about all of the moves that they have made, we have said this, none of them make sense when you stack them together in like, you know, or in order.
And let me say this about their defense as well. I played on a team that was built to rush the passer, right? Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, both those guys will end up in the Hall of Fame because of that. But that means your offense has to be loaded to bear, right?
You
You
gotta
have
play
to
from in front.
You got to have two receivers. You have to have a solid run game. You got to be able to protect the passer because you can't go down in the hole and try to recover. The problem is they're playing it backwards. We talk about complementary football. They do the exact opposite and leave and expose both sides of the football to what they do worse. It's unbelievable.
Here's the thing. Football changes all the time, but there's one thing that will remain a constant. They're as bad as any team in the league at running it, and they're as bad as any team in the league at stopping the run. And if you have
it's not a recipe for winning.
It doesn't make any difference what else you do.
Those are foundational principles. It's like in basketball, you got to be tall. It's the same thing in football.
Okay.
I resent that.
That's enough of all of it. We're bad. Okay, let's just put it that way. We're just bad. But I'm going to go in here hopeful. I'm going to hope for the best, expect the worst, and you'll never be disappointed. Thank you very much, good people. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon. Peace out.